We are back, ladies and gentlemen, MMA fans around the world, around the States. My name is Karo Parisyan. This is my co-host, my friend, my partner, Nick Stolper. What's up, Nick?
What's up, Karo, man? I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, me too. It's been a minute. Man. I've been wanting to do a pod. I've been wanting to get my thoughts out there ever since the McGregor and Khabib fight.
Karo, what did you think of that fight, man?
Incredible fight. What did you think before the fight? Before I even start?
Is it? So my mom's Irish, right?
Of course.
And so I have a lot of pride. Connor's my favorite.
Because we can't tell he's Irish.
We can't. So I was devastated. I loved the fight, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't like the outcome. I understand it.
Yeah.
I can't say I loved his performance.
You know,
taking nothing away from Khabib.
Of course not. No, we're not. We're going to speak the truth and how it is. To speak, there's two aspects of the fight. I mean, first there's the fight itself, how the fight came out. As far as how did Conor fight, how did Khabib fight, what was the strategy, who outsmarted who, and all that stuff. And then there's the outcome of the fight at the end, what happened, and everybody's got their opinion and stuff, and we'll get to that. But as far as the fight went, I think that Khabib was on a different mindset. He did not let Conor get in it, because Conor is a master in getting people's heads ever since. Because I didn't even know much about Conor until on Facebook one time I saw people writing that Dana's writing Conor's blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, who's this Conor guy? And this was like a few years ago.
Gotcha.
And I've been watching, and of course every chance I get. And he's brilliant in getting people's heads. He's really good at it.
A master.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
And it's working for him. In the beginning, there's always going to be doubters. I'm like, it's another this guy, another that guy. Tito was doing this, and this guy. You know what? Everybody's different. Every guy's different. Every energy is different. And Conor is great at that, but he could not break Khabib's that wall he had. Man, it's impossible to get behind it. The kid was just standing there, just cold.
Do you think it's, I was going to say, do you think it's because of maybe his childhood, like where he's from?
Well, yeah, of course. Listen, Conor didn't have an easier life. I don't know what kind of life Conor had, but I know he was a plumber. He was a plumber before this.
Yeah, that was his trade. He was an out-of-work plumber. Yeah, like collecting welfare stamps, or what would be equivalent to. Yeah.
And today, the man's got over 100 million, which is amazing.
Oh, it's the American
dream.
It's
a talent. It's something that if you can do it, can you imagine coming from another country, the most powerful country in the world, arguably, and becoming. Dude, he's the most. What is he in Ireland? He's the most known Irish.
Hands down.
Ever. Well, listen, with that be, let's not veer off the subject here. The fight was an incredible fight. Khabib was able to land. I think Conor might have underestimated Khabib a little bit overall.
Oh, even the striking.
Yeah, he underestimated. He got caught.
He got rocked, yeah.
Yeah, he got caught. He was fine, but, he got tired, I think. Because, the wrestling, you have to understand, punching, that kind of conditioning is different. Wrestling and grappling, that kind of conditioning is different. There's so many ways you can train at it, but it's different, very different. As you can see, Conor is more of a stand-up fighter, and Khabib is a wrestler. The kid, there's clips of him wrestling a bear.
Yeah, he's like,
right?
Yeah, 8 years old or something, wrestling a bear, literally.
Small, like a circus bear. With that being said, boxers and stand-up fighters, when they tie up with a wrestler, after a while their muscles will stop to give up because they're putting different kind of energy into the fight. They're trying to stand up and strike. They're trying to punch and etc. Where the opponent is trying to lock them down, and by you trying to, get out of the locks and try to throw punches and stuff, you use a lot of energy.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And that's when you get tired and everything just shuts down, and wrestlers and grapplers take you down and take the best out of you. That's what happened with Conor. Conor probably wasn't in the best shape, and at the same time, this was after he fought Mayweather, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. It was Mayweather to this fight.
And at the same time,
the biggest money
let's
fights,
be at the same time, I also think that if this was earlier in Conor's career, when he was a little bit more hungry, might have been a little bit different.
Yeah.
tiny bit, not much. It's just an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just stating my opinion. It might have been a little bit more, tiny bit different. Maybe the outcome would have been the same. I don't know, but it might have been a little bit different fight. I didn't see the hunger in. Come on, I did.
He's already worth $100 million.
Yeah,
so
he was still doing the Conor moniker. He was still doing that stuff, but I didn't see hunger in the man's eyes in this fight.
Sure.
I swear to you, I didn't see it. But Khabib, let's say, he had hunger, bro.
Oh, of
he
course.
was there to eat. That motherfucker, excuse my French, was hungry. He wanted to eat, and he was eating, and he ate like a mother. Now let's get back. Okay, so the fight was done. Congratulations to Khabib and all that stuff. Now let's get to the outcome. Now here, I'm starting to get worked up here. What would you think of the outcome, Nick? Tell me.
The fight after the fight?
Yeah, the fight after the fight.
I
What
thought
the fuck was that
I
all
thought,
about?
I thought it was a black eye to the sport of MMA. I loved it as a fan, 100%.
It was what?
A black eye.
Oh, black eye.
Yeah.
Eye.
So
I thought you said a black guy. I'm like,
no.
what the fuck are you talking about?
No, it was a black guy, man.
It was a black
yeah.
guy. It was a bruised one too.
It wasn't very entertaining, but everything that. And I don't know
sport is about.
what your relationship with Dana is, but Dana goes, from my understanding, out of his way to keep shit like that away from the media. Because MMA, when it first came in, it was, these guys are just a bunch of
Barbaric guys and human cockfighters, and we had our pants on. There is no cockfighting there. It has absolutely nothing to do with cock. But whatever. Continue.
Well, I was just saying, yeah. So I mean, here's a guy that invested everything into keeping shit like that away from these events. Now it's arguably the largest event in UFC history, and it ends like that. So of course, people who've never seen an MMA match before, like, the riots.
I was expecting these barbaric Neanderthals, these cavemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to go off the subject here to get into these athletes. 75% of these athletes are college graduates and they got degrees. Okay, I'm probably the only one that doesn't really have a degree. It's in mine's from acting, but listen. Basically, at the fight's over, he beats Conor. You beat Conor McGregor, and I understand your hype and whatever you're doing, that's fine. But when you jump over the cage and you attack the crowd, listen. I understand, and then people are like, well, you don't even know what happened, Karo. He was cursing his family and his dad. Whatever. What was going on there?
Yeah, so he went after Dylan Dennis, Conor's jiu-jitsu coach.
Yeah, he's a good grappler guy.
For saying shit, but just for talk, that's it. There's no justification for it. I don't care what the guy does, as long as he doesn't put his hands on Khabib or anyone Khabib's family. Let him say whatever the fuck he wants. That's the fight game. That's what sells. That's what puts ass in the
What did
seats.
he say? Hang on. Hang on. What did he say?
I couldn't tell you for sure. I've read two different things. But
Tell me both. Tell me. Get to the point.
okay, so one of the because again these are allegedly what people internet people said.
I'll tell you what I heard. You say it.
One was something about his father,
Okay.
and the other was something about his religion.
Great. About your father and your religion. He's Muslim, right?
Correct.
Okay. That part of the world. Now, I'm a Christian. Not saying anything to Muslims. I'm a Christian. With that being said, I'm also part of that world. That part of the world. Because that's former Soviet Union.
Right.
Which is former Russia. Which we were part of that once. He speaks Russian. I used to speak Russian. I understand a little bit more, but I used to speak also almost fluent. Because I lived in Russia too. It was all the same. Now, that part of the world, if you're going to listen, there's specific stuff you do, specific stuff you don't do. This is what they don't understand. Here, you do not make jokes about somebody's father, mother, or religion. A lot of Christians in the world and a lot of Muslims in the world.
Sure.
If you make fun of my Christianity, well, I'm still going to go crazy at you. I'm still going to, etc., etc. I'm going to put your hands on you because there's also millions of Christians around me. They also get offended. So it's like a whole big thing. But when you go that personal towards, especially my father my mother, if you say stuff about my parents, it's gonna be, it's very personal. Do you understand? People like that take it very personal. I don't know what was going through Khabib's mind, man. I really don't know. But whatever it was, I didn't like it. I was like, man, I completely understand. If you can keep your nerves, once you found out about that, if you keep your nerves that much to fight the fight, win the fight, you have enough to stay 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Hang
I'm
on.
with you on that.
15 minutes, you won the biggest fight of your life. Get your belt, say what the fuck you gotta say, get out of the cage. You have beef, you want to handle business, do it in the back, not in front of the cameras. I guess, listen, I don't know what he was trying to do. Maybe he was trying to state a point. He was trying to show his father, his religion, and all that stuff. I don't know what he was trying to do. But you could have done the same thing if it was that personal. You could have done it behind the cage,
Right.
when nobody saw.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I got mad about that. But the other way, like I'm saying, you don't make fun of our parents or anything. You just don't. If you do, it's very serious. I'll pick up the fucking mic and break it. I don't give a fuck I'm fighting in the UFC or where I'm fucking fighting. You make fun of my mom or my dad. You say something demeaning. Don't talk about my mom. That one guy. What was his name? I mean, I understand what he was doing, but he shouldn't even said that. He should have just ran over and cracked that. What was it, like Kevin Lee, whatever his name was? I was watching a press conference.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. It's just very different. You have to understand who you're making jokes with. First of all, it's a guy you're about to fight. Jokes or no jokes or whatever you're going to talk about somebody, you don't get under somebody. That's not getting under somebody's skin. You know what you're doing? You're taking it to a different level. I will pick up a knife and stab you with it. I even got a knife next to me.
You always got the knife next to you.